one podcast, mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Yeah, I don't think
that's good.
Well, welcome back
Staying
to
in the
another
final cut.
episode of the Howling Salt Mine podcast, the podcast where we delve into those salty, salty minds of the Magic the Gathering community, find the salty stories, the salty posts, put them into our mind card. What the fuck? And bring them right back up to you, our dear prospectors at home. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined with Mike and Tony, my beautiful co-hosts. Say hey, guys.
What up, what up, what up?
Howdy.
Howdy indeed. And before we go any further, you know we got to shout them out, our nice tier patrons. And this week we have Accidental TPK, Dr. Black, ZZ, and Alex Ballix. Thank you for being so nice. See, that was straight off the dome.
Way to
Nice.
not be last easy. You got it.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
only been the same 4 people for like 6 months. So, well, guys, before we jump into this ep, let's talk about some of the gifts that we received.
Whoa.
Mail?
You guys are crazy.
Look at the grippers.
What are these? Why would you
They're
wear
gripping.
those?
We got some.
Dan, get us a zoom on
Mike,
that bad boy.
Mike, what do you have on your feet?
Oh. Oh, wait.
Just so that you guys know, we did touch feet before this
Yeah,
episode.
we did.
Like a lot.
A series of intricate hand gestures,
I don't know if it
foot
was that much.
gestures together.
For the folks at home, I don't know if you've ever put on toed socks before. None of us had.
Yeah.
So this is a very new experience.
it was an experience.
It's woken something different, I think, in each of us.
Yeah. It was funny because we put it on and you know, we were like joking, like, is this someone's fetish or something? And then we put it on, we were all like, oh. Actually feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's not
It
too bad.
feels really good to have my toes separated, you know?
It does,
Yeah.
and like the ability to like, I can grip things. I
Ooh,
can grab
put those
things
away.
still.
Put those grippers away.
I will
This is why
say-
we call them the grippers. This is as close as you guys will ever get. Tony has like a weird.
Look at that pinky toe
Someone,
extension.
you better pay us more just for seeing this. In fact, censor that, Dan. Censor that.
Blur it.
Blur it.
Unblurred on the
Unblurred on
Patreon.
Patreon. Unblurred on Patreon.
I feel like the thing that I have discovered is either the average toe is a little bit shorter.
It's that.
Yeah, it's that. You got weird toes.
Yeah. They feel like yeah. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is weird to like jam them in the little toe receptacles. I will say thank you to our patron D. Beeson for sending these to us.
Thanks, boy.
He included a lovely message that just said, well, you asked for them.
Yeah.
With nothing else,
true.
which is really, really great. And we do have a couple other gifts that I want to show off. So we got these to our P.O. Box, which, if you don't know, it is Howling Salt Mine, P.O. Box 6025, Providence, Rhode Island, 02940. This one comes to us from Doug. It just says Doug.
It doesn't say Doug's
No
dad.
return address.
Wait,
just
is
says
it
Doug.
Doug's dad or is this a Doug?
I have no idea. And this is also insanely strange and weird to get. It is a set of meat claws that you use to like Wolverine your slow roasted meat and
Holds
shred it.
and shreds.
And that is what's inside. It's not like there was something sneaky hidden inside. It is just meat claws. And then curiously, there's also a ransom note style clipping of the letter A.
Ooh.
So maybe this is a mystery, or maybe this just fell in. Or maybe there's supposed to be a ransom note in here and it just didn't get included. I don't fucking know. But
Interesting.
this is our most enigmatic gift that we've received to date. For
Yes.
sure.
Huh.
Interesting.
So thanks, Doug. Bark, bark, I guess.
I feel like it's all gonna come together over time, maybe.
I'm
you
ready.
know?
I can't wait for Z.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. And then we also got, this is from our patron, Not a Frog. We got these really sick metal etched tokens. We have two zombie tokens and two wolf tokens. You guys want to check those out?
Neat.
And you're pinching my finger. And we got a little note here too. What's up, you salty fucks? Hope all is well. I just wanted to send you these metal tokens. They're made by my buddy Garrett, and I think this is either IVV_etching or NV_etching. NV etching makes more sense for like Nevada. With art by my other buddy Spence, who is a tattoo artist. Thanks for being so cool on the cast, interacting online and in person at Chicago. Also, thanks to all three of you for signing my Eldrazi Scion and Spawn tokens.
Hell yeah.
I've met some great people and played some great games on Spell Table in your Discord, and even got into CDH in the last year and a half. The yearly Secret Santa got me into HSM, but the people kept me there. Thanks for cultivating the community that you have. Your patron, not a frog. Well, thanks, dude. We appreciate that.
These are pretty sick.
These
too.
are really cool. They got a nice.
They got heft, dude.
They got some heft, but they're also not like chonky. Like they're still pretty.
You could whip that at someone.
You could.
You could
I just
destroy
felt that
like
a little
Just
bit.
sharpen the edges and
You
could take some people out.
Oh,
you
yeah.
could cause harm. You could cause harm.
If you get too salty.
You get cut with the token.
No, I keep that thing on me.
But they're
Awesome.
wicked cool. So thank you very much.
Cool.
So Mike and I had a little local excursion recently. We had a little local
Without me.
without Tony. Yep.
You
Yeah.
weren't invited.
I was invited. I was just busy getting fucked up at a wedding, as I do.
Yep. And
It was an adventure. I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah, we got a message from Tony at like midnight. So
Yeah.
I know. That's usually when Tony jumps in the Discord and talks about how much he loves us. I'm like, hell yeah, he's having a good time.
He's had a good night. I can't be too upset.
No. I mean, honestly, like I legitimately really haven't heard that much about it. So like, how was it? What was the deal?
So it was great. I will say, so it was really good. It was Command Fest Worcester. It was a really small event. I think it's the first Magic the Gathering event in Worcester in maybe the last like 5 or 10 years. Like from what I heard,
baby.
the
Our stomping
RCs
grounds.
used to come through and there would be like regional stuff there for people to play in at the DCU Center. So this is the first event back there in a while. It was put on by TJ's Cafe, our LGS that we hit up sometimes. And it was pretty good. It was a good time. We kind of got like our schedules a little confused, a little weirdness there. So we were only able to roll in for a day. But man, what a day.
Mm-hmm.
So we popped in. DCU Center is just like a great central spot in Worcester. Like
It's
you said,
funny, like
old stomping grounds.
I mean, I lived there for 4 years. Never went over there.
Same. Yeah.
Yep.
I lived there for 5 years and never went over there.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because Worcester is so different now. Like it's
Yeah.
really up and coming. There's like a lot of nice little like places to go eat and like hang out and stuff. And I was like, was this like, has the city changed? Or was I also just an incredibly poor college student with no spending money? And I think the answer is both.
Yeah.
I think it's both, but I think it's more the former because like nobody went to the downtown area because there
Yeah.
was nothing
There's
fucking
nothing
over
to
there.
do.
And it was kind of sketchy.
And now there was
literally
like
nothing over there.
wall art, like cool street art,
Yeah,
and
there's
Yeah.
like
stuff.
little cafes and shops. And
Yeah, the
Like
shops were
actually,
sweet.
none of those existed.
Yeah.
So like when I say I never went over there, I mean I never went into the DCU Center.
Yeah.
But I went down there like 2 or 3 times, and each time I was like, "There's
Why would I?
There's
nothing
nothing here.
open.
Yeah.
Why would I ever come back here?"
Yeah.
And there was no public transportation to get over there in any reasonable way.
Yeah. There's like a little like mercantile area by the DCU Center, which is like, it had like outdoor eating places and like a giant, parking garage that was really accessible and stuff. So that's where we did end up going out to eat with me and Beezy from the Nitpicking Nerds after.
Oh, cute.
Just kind of like, it was super late. It was like 8 or 9. We were like, yeah, let's go like eat, get a drink, bounce.
And then leave.
We went to a little ramen shop and this like nerd bar, which was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Getting
Surprised
ahead
you
of
didn't go to
ourselves,
Boomers, but
Boomers, dude.
yeah, true.
Give me that
Could've.
blue pizza, baby.
I know.
Blue calzone. Oh, fuck me up. Fucking, I wish I went to
it's a good thing I
Boomers.
wasn't there. If I was there, I would have been like, "We're going to Boomers."
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we didn't. The ramen
Yeah.
was very good.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And probably like better for you as a
Yeah,
whole. Like,
exactly.
wouldn't have regretted it later. Like, yeah.
And it was walking distance.
Yeah.
So. But it was fun. So we got there. We were like creators for the event. And the only thing that we had was meet and greet.
I like that you put parentheses around that.
Well, I mean, it was like a very
I like to think that we are creators at this point, but like, Sam said we're creators. We were. So we'll just
creators.
fuck ourselves, I suppose.
Well,
Anyway.
I don't know. It was just, this is my
No,
first
you're right.
really
I
small.
wasn't there, so you guys aren't really creative without me.
Exactly. It's true. We're very bland. This is my first really small convention, right? So like all the other creator experiences I've had have been like Magic Cons and then MTG Summit. So it was a different vibe to be at like something small and local. Both in that like you just kind of walked in and got your pass and like did stuff. And we just like picked a table to do our meet and greet at and like met a handful of people. But the really cool thing about a small event that we were talking about was that pretty much aside from like one or two, every single person that came to our meet and greet, we got to play a game with later in the day, which is like
all 4 of them.
Impossible. It was like 8 or 10 or something.
Oh,
but like
more than
impossible to do at a big convention.
I still think it's hilarious. It's so funny that like we don't really have any kind of following in our own home local area.
Yeah. Well, it was also a thing of scale. Like the
1000%.
Magic cons that we go to are, 10 to 20,000 people.
Yeah.
And this was in the order of a few hundred, probably.
Yeah. I think this is 600 people.
I mean, that's
for
kind of a
the
high
whole
percentage
weekend.
of that amount of people anyway.
Yeah.
But
And there are a few of our patrons were there. Warren Powerstone was there. I should look them all up, but a handful of y'all were there, which was really cool to see you.
hell yeah.
And, we got to like sign some stuff. And like I said, we got to play a bunch of games, which was really fun. I mean, there were shops there. There were artists there. Ryan Pencoast was there. So I got my Hans. I got an artist proof. It was funny because I had just done like a gameplay video with the Nitpicking Nerds and rebuilt my Hans deck, which if that's out, I'll link it to this video. But I rebuilt Hans and Mia had played it. So she gave it back to me and I was talking about how I love Hans now and the Hans deck is so fun. It's just like a goofy bracket 2 deck. And Alan was there, meant to misplay, and he was like, oh, you should go have Ryan sign it. And I was like, huh? He's like, the artist is here for Hans. And I was like, okay. So I bought an artist proof of Hans and had him sign it.
Hell yeah.
So it's cemented. Hans is back.
It's in the rotation.
It's in rotation
never
permanently.
leaving.
I wish you had
Maybe
two
not.
copies.
Maybe not. You do kind of need a nice bracket too to hang out with, right?
Yeah. Right now I only have birds, my bird deck. So having Hans is fun because it's like, it kind of feels like Kona, but way, way worse and way less consistent. But it still gives me like the joy of cheating shit in that I get with Kona. So it's like Kona light.
I just wish you kept a version of the OG
really bad
list.
one.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about the really bad one, I was like looking at the list again when I was rebuilding it, was that I had these regenerate enchantments in the deck, which, served a purpose to keep Hans alive. But the regenerate enchantments gave Hans a power and toughness bump. So instead of fighting the things that came in to play for like 1 damage, which is Hans's power, he was hitting them for like 3. And then, my 5/5 would come in and it would go to blocks with 3 damage marked on it already. And you guys would just jump it. And I'd be like, what am I doing? So I've changed it. And I will say it plays really well now. We got a game in later that day with Hans and it was
Vigor
baller.
is not a cool card to have come out when you're facing Hans.
Yeah, Vigor is
and then it comes out
fucked.
and
I
it
believe that.
fights, and Hans gets bigger.
Yep.
And Vigor gets bigger,
And everything gets huge.
and then he's just flipping things out for free.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's great.
So how's the convention on your side?
It was great. Like Sam said, we
Any
did
foreign
a brief.
duels or?
No foreign duels. I looked around though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we did
there
do some
weren't any.
shopping.
There weren't any, but we did buy some cards. There was like bulk bins, so they had like a bunch of cards
Oh,
that were
This was
priced
cool.
$1 to $10, and they were all just in boxes in sleeves, and the sleeves color coded to like how much they were. So like black sleeve was $1, blue
Yeah.
sleeve was $3 or something like that.
I like
And it was a great way to just have a ton of cards just sorted by color, and you could just flip through them and then like pull out what you wanted and then hand them over, and they'd add up like the sleeve colors basically and do a bunch. So it was a great chance to look through a bunch of cards that like wouldn't be expensive enough to be like in the cases and be looked through, but cool things like a mind break trap for like $8 and things like that, or like like we found like a surge foil isolated chapel from one of the sets that was like $6, and I was like,
Yeah, throw that into Lotho. Like, why not? And
we'll get that.
it was a bunch of shit like that. Where like just diamonds in the rough. Like we found it was a foil Maze's End that was
promo.
Yeah, promo stamped or like, yeah, I guess promo stamped. And it was $1. And I was like, I don't fucking need this card, but
it's
I
cool.
will buy
Now I
it
have
for
one.
$1. Like, are you kidding me?
And like
Yeah.
I don't have a Dryad Arbor, but now I have a Dryad Arbor.
Yeah.
Because I wanted one.
It's
and
funny
it was
because
like
now I need
$5.
one.
Yeah. Well, I'll sell it to you for 10.
Deal. I think I still owe you $10. So.
But yeah, so that piece was fun. Like just a little bit of commerce and
Yep.
like The cool thing about a smaller convention is those vendors are not as swamped. So like the sell stations were pretty open
Yeah.
for a lot of the convention too. So if people are looking to do trade-ins, like smaller conventions might be better for it just because you have easier access
From
to
like a
the
time
the
perspective.
time
at least.
perspective. Yeah. I'm
Definitely.
not sure if their rates were any better or anything, but
There's still
then
some pretty big names there, like Cool Stuff Inc. and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like
Oh.
big shops that you'd expect.
Yep.
Interesting.
And we didn't engage with the like ticketing system. There was something where like part of your submission, you could get like event registry, and then
Yeah.
you could, if you played in events, get tickets that you could go use at the prize wall, which is like pretty normal. But we didn't engage with that part of it at
Yeah.
all. But it seemed like you could get pretty cool rewards just by basically like getting a pod and going up to the desk and be like, hey, we're registering for a pickup commander game. And then they would like give you some points for it basically.
Yeah, I mean, you
But-
could basically just like jam games with your friends, get the tickets, and like 4 of my friends were there, Bo, Brendan, Seth, and Dave, and they were just jamming games together all day and just using their tickets and making it so that like, because like if you won the game, you got more of the prize. So they just played 4 games and they were just like, yeah, each one of us won a game, and they all just like maxed out their tickets, and they were like, this is a great system because we're just going to do this anyways.
Yeah.
And we get like the prize support that we
Yeah.
want. So
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. And if you didn't have anyone to play with, they would like pod you up with people. And
Yeah,
you could play
gotcha.
CDH that way too. They had like a CDH match system as well.
So we did our meet and greet around 1 for like 30 minutes, and then did exactly what I'm always looking to do at every convention I ever go to, which
Yep.
is just play as
Put
many games as
spells on the
possible.
stack.
Spells and abilities on the stack, turn some cards
Exactly,
sideways.
dude.
And so we just did that for the rest of the day, which was awesome. We grabbed some beers and played, and got to play with a bunch of patrons. And
Beers
Played-
in the convention.
though
Put a pin in that.
maybe, yeah, they were selling them. They were selling them there. We were having them there. That was all fine. And then it wasn't. And they were like, you can't have those here. Like,
Ah.
3 hours into us having some beers in the room for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as
So,
you got 3 hours
that
in,
part-
then you're fine.
That part wasn't perfect, but it
was
was
funny.
It was all right.
So we had already had like so many beers, and they're like, you can't have those in here. And we were like, I was like, I've been drinking beers in here all afternoon.
Yeah.
we wander into the hall and we're just looking for games, and immediately we bump into our patron Pug Superstar, who we had talked to earlier that day, and Pug had said that they had this like Flubs deck that they wanted to play,
Mm.
bracket 2. So we were like, cool, sounds great. And at the exact same moment, Paul and his girlfriend Bianca was walking by, and
Partner. We don't know.
yeah, we don't know. Well, I assume some sort of relation there. So they're wandering by, and we're like, hey, we need a 4th. So Paul jumps in, and we play this awesome game. Paul's on SRAM, and it's just fucking doing the SRAM thing, like going hot with
Cheerios.
Voltron
Oh,
and shit.
I had one of my favorite politics moments that I've
It was
ever had,
good.
which is
It was
he was
good.
gonna smack me with, I think he was just gonna hit me with SRAM.
Yeah.
No, I had Rankle out, and I was going in for a little Rankle action.
So
and
forcing us to sacrifice.
and I potentially could have made everybody sacrifice, and SRAM had just SRAM out.
SRAM.
So potentially forcing the Voltron deck to sacrifice its commander. And he was like, what if you don't do that and I won't
Yeah.
swing at you? And he offered 3 turns of not swinging at me. I declined that, and I asked for 1 turn at my choosing of directing the attack from
Yep.
SRAM.
Mike
which-
held on to that
And I held
shit.
on to it until the very end of the game. And it was almost enough to like turn things around. Not quite, but
But this Flubs, and I was on Hans, and you were playing your...
I was playing Demir Fairies.
Yeah, the Fairies
Precon.
Precon. But this Flubs deck, dude, it was Flubs and Slime Against Humanity. So it's like you're discarding. So every time with Flubs, every time you cast a spell or play a land, if you have a card in your, if you still have cards in your hand, you have to discard a card. And if you have no cards in hand, you draw a card, right? So you're kind of like, it's this like discarding, hand emptying storm engine for people who don't know. So with Slime Against Humanity, when you cast it, it counts how many copies of Slime Against Humanity you have in exile or in your discard pile, and you get a slime that is that big +2, gets that many +1/+1 counters on
And
it.
you can have any number of copies of Slime Against Humanity.
Yep,
Yeah.
in your deck. So he's just ripping through slimes. He's like, play a slime, discard a slime, play a slime, discard a slime, and the slimes are getting big.
Yeah.
And he's giving them haste, and I think they have trample as
Yeah.
well. So at
There's
the
a-
end of the game, they were like 10/10s and 11/11s. It was crazy.
There was a Teamer Battle Crier out as well, which is your spells get like cost 1 less for each creature bigger than
Oh,
4
yeah.
power you have. So all the slimes were costing 1
There's
as
just
well.
one green.
Yeah.
So it's just like 1 green, rip through.
It
One
was
green,
cool.
rip through. Yeah, it was a very cool deck to see.
I've never played against non-CDH flubs before, so I was like, this is the fucking perfect deck for
Yeah.
it. It was sick.
And it was like, there was one point where Farewell was getting cast, and it was like, well, we could hit the yard. It's like, that doesn't matter because
Yeah.
those slimes count even if they're in exile, like
Which is
graveyard or
crazy.
exile. So once they're kind of in play, unless you're like shuffling them back in,
Yeah, there's no slowing
those
it
slimes
down.
are getting big.
It was very cool. That was a
Yeah.
good game. And then we played a couple CDH games
Yep.
with our buddy Dean came over. Dean's friend, I'm sorry, I forget your name, but you were very lovely as well. Dean's buddy was playing a Krark Sakashima list. Oh no, was it Krark Sakashima? No, Dean's buddy was playing flubs.
Yeah. Also
Flub
flubs.
CDH.
Yeah, also flubs.
And then Dean was on Kaikar, and the Kaikar list, man, that was fun to watch it pop off. He was playing Kaikar, and like it was just very interesting to have basically like a Burgie in the command zone where every time you cast something, you're making a creature and you can sack it for mana. It was really cool to watch it storm off. He had a couple big ass turns.
It was so interesting that I built it, and I
Yeah.
played a couple games with it yesterday on Spell Table.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
nice,
and it's
dude.
so fun. It's
Yeah,
a really
it's a
good
sick
time.
list.
Yeah, Kaikar is great.
On the train ride up today,
I was
this
like-
is what we talked about.
I was like, let me just brain dump everything about this Kaikar deck that I just played.
Yeah. Did you put Vivi in there?
I did put Vivi in there, and
Harmonic Prodigy.
I put Harmonic Prodigy, and I put Displacer Kitten and
Nice.
Delivery Moogle.
Oh, nice.
And the crazy thing
yeah,
about
dude.
that is Imperial Recruiter, or Recruiter of the Guard.
Yeah.
Is just a self-assembling line. You Recruiter of the Guard for Displacer Kitten, play the Displacer Kitten. Any other non-creature, you flicker
Yep.
your Recruiter of the Guard. You get your Delivery Moogle, you play that. It tutors up another rock. You can play it, flicker.
Oh, yeah,
you
dude.
get your infinite mana line with like Lotus Petal and Mox Diamond with
Yep.
your Delivery Moogle and your Displacer Kitten. And then you can end it with a Skull Clamp, which you can
Oh,
then just
and then
start
just draw your whole
clamping
deck,
all of
dude.
your, like off of a final tutor off of the Moogle.
Yeah,
And then you just draw your whole deck and
Is
win off
Sick.
of that.
I like that
Is
a
Kitten a
lot.
2/2?
Yeah. Kitten is a 2/2
Yep.
and
So
Moogle
you
is a
also
3/2.
can- oh,
Yeah.
Moogle's
Yeah.
a
with the
3/2, so you
Moogle.
can't deal with Imperial Recruiter,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But Recruiter of the Guard, you can.
Pretty hot. I like
cool.
that. a
Anyway, so-
lot.
But you could get Imperial Recruiter to get
Yes, you
Recruiter
could
of the
go
Guard.
Imperial
yeah.
Recruiter to Recruiter of the Guard, but then that's
a little
so
clunky.
long that you're like,
That's a little
kinda
clunky.
I'm not- like, I mean,
But you could.
It
You definitely
effectively,
could.
you run
could.
both of them. Look,
And that's
Yeah.
and that's what I was saying this on the way down. That deck is interesting because there's so many good cards,
Yeah.
and there's painfully a lot of good creatures, and you're trying to not run those in
Yeah.
Kaikar. So like the Kaikar list we saw Dean playing was a lot of like
Almost no creatures.
single mana red draw a card cantrips,
Hmm.
which was
Yeah.
pretty good and could go for some pretty explosive stuff because you could just have a turn where you'd like cycle
the
through
storm
everything.
turns were nuts. I
Which
mean,
was really
there
cool.
were many turns where Dean was like 1 or 2 cards away from catching a win.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm always 1 or 2 cards away from catching a win, though.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
So first game, we jammed a couple games with Dean. First one, I was on Marath. You were on Sisse, or
Mhm.
you were on Lotho, I think. I ended up
Yeah, I was
catching
on
it with
Lotho.
Marath, and then we played a second game, and I played Lotho, and that was fun, dude. And I
That's-
did win,
Sam did
and it
win.
was fucking great.
Yeah.
I
it was
feel like
really
that's
good.
your luck with CDH decks.
Yeah.
If I borrow a deck, I just crush with it.
Yeah, you usually,
it
and then
feels
you're like,
fucking
I want to
amazing.
play this deck now
Yeah.
because you have
Yeah.
one instance
Yeah.
where you
Mhm.
like one.
I mean, it was really fun. It was fun because like I was doing these political moves that Mike has been doing the whole time, but I never caught on to. But when I was playing the deck, like someone played a fish and I had like a slow Lotho hand, and I was like, we just shouldn't feed the fish. Like, let's just hang on to our spells. And then as soon as Lotho got out, people were like, I'll cast 2 spells. And I was like, hell yeah, treasure
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it all lines up.
Was there
So-
anything in particular that you got whilst there?
So there was, we did have something particular that we got while we were there, which was a bit of a salty story.
Oh, whoa!
Whoa.
But Sam, look at that seamless transition.
I know,
That
it's
was
pretty good.
Yeah.
What is salt?
Tony, thank you for asking. That's a great question. Salt
is.
is anything in the game of Magic the Gathering that's going to get you salty, frustrated, angry, irritated, maybe feeling a little down, a little sulky.
Use the
salt is-
word to define the word.
You got
Salt
to.
I love that
is
it's even the
salt.
first thing that you do.
I know,
Like,
usually
salt
it's
is
like the
thing that you
third.
could do.
This time I just
That
went right
makes you
for it. Gets you salty, you know, you guys know what it means. there's a lot of things in Magic that might get you salty. Maybe you are, maybe your brackets are mismatched. Maybe someone is running a crazy win con that you can't interact with. Maybe someone's just removing your commander over and over again. Maybe
someone holds a Beseiju in a top 16 pod of a CDH tournament.
Oh, dude.
We watched a little bit of the CDH tournament
was,
going on too.
There was some fucking salt.
There were some moments. There were some moments, some outbursts.
Boy, yeah.
You're sandbagging in top 16, dude. What are you doing?
It was
This is great.
The line that I remember was this dude salting off and just being like, okay, well, all right, so you just king made, okay, I guess we're just going to king make. I guess we're just going to throw the game. Cool. You're just going to throw the game? Cool, great. You're just throwing the game. I was like, hell yeah. We walked over right as they were getting salty. I was like, oh, baby. But salt can also be when someone just has a hot start and fucking locks you out of a game the entire time. And we're here to talk about all the types of salt so that we can learn from it and hopefully not be salty in a future game of Magic. As we like to say,
educational podcast.
Fuck yeah. We got there. All right, let me bring up this first story. So this first story, we had a salty game at Command Fest Worcester. And afterwards, Mike was like, well, if someone sent us a story in, we would talk about it on the show, because they were like, oh, you're going to talk about this on the show. And Mike was like, well, we really only talk about it if we get a story about it, kind of like hinting. So we got a story from not only Rob, who is one of the awesome people we hung out with that weekend and perhaps is involved in the salt a little bit, but also from our buddy Dean, who wrote one on behalf of his girlfriend who was in the pod with us. So let's, I've looked at these. I think we should take the salt directly from the source.
Yeah.
And let's see what Rob sent us. Oh, and it's a long one. Oh, baby, Rob. You treat us so well. So first of all, I just got to say, we didn't get to this, but after we played our first round of CDH, we played another game, and Rob jumped in with an Animar deck. Super cool Animar deck. Totally different from Nick's, which was wild to see.
Which was not cool, right?
It was a lot of flash enablers, so he just was like draw go the whole time, basically, which was wild compared to how we played.
How we were
Nick.
like, you're not playing everything at sorcery speed all the time.
Yeah, it's like you're not just playing all your creatures and then passing turn. Like he had so much interaction. It was cool. And then afterwards, we potted up and played with Rob and Lyric, who was Dean's girlfriend, who was hanging out with us that day too. And again, we said it before, but Dean and Lyric and their group of friends were just so sweet. They were like buying us beers. We spent like the whole afternoon with them.
Yeah,
and Rob and all just hung out. And the vibes were
immaculate
incredible.
all day for the whole.
So fun.
Except for when somebody
Command Fest.
came and told you couldn't have beers no more.
That was just
Even
kind of
that
funny.
was kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Because
That
it was
was
like,
kinda funny.
What do you mean? We've been now?
Yeah.
What changed?
It was just funny because it's a
That's
bunch of
kinda
like
like the-
30 and 40-year-olds getting yelled at. We're like, huh? Okay.
Yeah, but it's like the teacher coming over to yell at the bully after he's finished bullying somebody.
Yeah.
I was like, my beer's empty too.
They were also like, you can't have beer because there can be minors in this room. And then we looked around.
Yeah.
There's no minors in this room.
You mean prospectors, dude? All right. So this story comes to us from our buddy Rob, and the title is Aminatou, Command Fest Worcester.
I'm so glad that they labeled it so specifically so we couldn't miss it.
Exactly.
It's like, you wanted this.
And the story goes, buckle up, Buttercup. Here's a long story of assault, smiles, cringe, and laughs. And as a twist, I was not the victim of salt, but the cause of salt by 1,000 cuts. Like all epic tales, we have a prologue. Prologue. I had the good luck to meet you guys at Command Fest Worcester for your meet and greet. We had a quick chit chat and got 2 of your treasure tokens. Fast forward a few hours, I saw you guys playing EDH at the command zone and asked if I can join. Luckily, the game was ending and I was able to jump in for a CDH game. Note, it was CDH. Game 1, me on Animar, cool guy, forget his name on Kaikar. It was Dean, and he is a cool guy. Sam was on the white and black evil hobbit. And Mike was on Commander, I forgot. I think you were on Sisse that game.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, if there's an Aminatou, then like,
Well,
how do we just say?
That's that's game 2.
That's game
This is the prologue.
Gotcha.
My deck was doing okay. Had a moment where I played Final Word Phantom, which surprised a few people. Very overlooked for Animar. And Sam got the combo win with Necromancy somehow. I don't remember. Yeah, it was great. Post game one, we spent like a good 30 minutes shooting the shit, sharing videos of pets and kids, enjoying how there had been no salt, foreshadowing. Cool guy's girlfriend, Lyric, bought us all around a beer, and we drink our brews and share some carefree laughs. Someone asks, how about another game? Game one was too quick, and we have drinks to finish. How could that possibly not happen? Foreshadowing. Cool guy's girlfriend took her boyfriend's spot, and we settled on for bracket 4. Note, bracket 4.
Yes.
Game 2. Game 2, Lyric is on Animar. This Animar deck, dude. I'll have things to say about it as the story
I'm sorry,
goes.
didn't we just say the Animar deck was a CDH deck?
Now there's a bracket
Rob
4.
was on a CDH Animar.
Oh, okay.
Lyric was playing a bracket 4 Animar. I was playing Kona. Mike was on your Teamer Dragon.
Yeah.
Who's that? Areni. Mike was on Areni. And Rob was playing Aminatou, the Fate Shifter, soon to be known as the Morton Salt Girl of the Seven Hells. As we were continuing the vibes from earlier, I mulligan down to 6. I look at my hand. Now, I find myself in a brief personal existential debate of morality. I think I had a god-opening hand. I had a feeling this would make me win, but it will be a long game. The angel on my shoulder said no, but the evil Morton Salt Girl on the other shoulder said, fuck it, go for it. Your deck did nothing last game. Show them how your deck could work. So I signed my name on the Faustian contract and kept my hand. And I won the roll to go first. Turn 1, played a land, Altar of the Brood, and Lotus Petal. My opponent's mill for 1. Pod morale, salt-free, drinking beers. Should we just
I like
quickly...
that we're going to check in on the morale as we go.
I think we should just quickly want to read Altar of the Brood.
Every time
off the top of my head,
non-land permanent comes into play, people mill a card.
Permanent.
Oh, permanent?
It's just permanent.
So it's lands too?
Yeah, anytime a
Damn.
permanent comes into play, your opponent's mill 1 card.
Yeah.
And it's a 1 mana artifact.
Perfect.
Turn 2, Misty Rainforest, sack to get dual land, Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Rhystic Study. My opponent's mill 5.
Why would he not keep this fucking hand?
Right? Yeah. That's
Why
exactly
was there
it.
ever a thought
That's
to
exactly
not?
it. Pod
Unless
morale.
he drew the land on the first turn to play the initial.
I think it was just gas. Pod morale, lightly salted peanuts.
Yes.
Important to note, no one paid for Rhystic. When this happened, each card I drew either progressed my board state or interaction. Turn 3, land, Skyclave Apparition to target Lyric's creature. Opponent mills 2. Pod morale, McDonald's French fries. Some started to pay the Rhystic tax. For everyone to understand, imagine a glance, slight joking jab, an awkward chuckle, and or laugh that is more akin to relieve internal pressure of salt after each statement of my turn actions. That is true.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we're milling again. Oh, and I was playing Kona, and I only had like 2 lands out and just kept milling lands
Yeah,
away. It was
everything you were
really
hitting.
good. Turn 4, land, Commander, Glistening Sphere, Mox Opal, Commander blinks Skyclave, opponent's mill for another 5. Pod morale, stabilizing. Pod agreed to pay for Rhystic at this point. Turn 5, land, Liliana, Death Horde General, uptick Liliana to create a 2/2 zombie, uptick my commander, opponent's mill 3. Pod morale, back to lightly salted peanuts. Lyric takes out my Rhystic Study. Pod morale goes up. Sam has 3 creatures on board. Mike brings out his commander that causes him to get a dragon. Pod says how this became archenemy. All eyes on me. Here comes the worst part. Turn 6, no land. Uptick Liliana to create a 2/2 zombie. Use my commander to blink Liliana. Downtick Liliana to make each player sack 2 creatures. I sack my 2 zombie tokens. I draw 2 cards because of Lily. Oath of Teferi gets played. I blink my Mana Vault. Comes back at the end of turn. Uptick my commander. Uptick Liliana to make a 2/2 zombie. Opponent's mill for 5. As I play my turn, my face is slowly turning into the Michael Scott cringe face. Pod morale is a big bag of rock salt and potato chips. No turning back now. Mike cast a dragon with an ETB trigger to deal damage to target creature or planeswalker. Mike says that my Dovin Veto, which I revealed to the table via misplay, won't be a factor. I look down, avoiding eye contact as I play Teferi's Protection. I feel like I'm driving a runaway train of salt. I want the game to end. I'm clarifying to the pod that I have never seen this deck work so well. The last that started when someone's Soul Ring was milled into the graveyard was sounding in my head like the laughs inmates would passively aggressively make in the yard before someone gets shanked.
Oh, no.
Turn 7, no land, uptick Lily to make 2/2 zombies, down tick Lily, everyone sacks 2 creatures. I sack my zombies, I draw 2 cards. Teferi Archmage, up tick Teferi to untap 4 permanents. Venser the Sojourner comes down tick Aminatou to blink Skyclave targeting Sam's only creature. Up tick Venser to blink Aminatou, up tick Venser to blink Liliana. Oath of Liliana. Up tick Teferi to untap. End step. My 2 planeswalkers come back. I make a 2/2 zombie token. Opponents mill 8.
Yeah, I
Pod
see how
morale
it's getting worse.
Is now the Dead Sea. So far, I've made my opponents mill about 29 cards. Mike declares with my board state, I can make everyone sack their creatures. I offer that we can just end the game, hoping so much that the table says yes to end this madness. I've never felt so awkward to win a game. Sam suggests we play one more round to see if someone draws a solution. The game came to an end after no one drew an answer. The game finally ended. Once the game ended, it felt like we all just ended a double shift at work. We were back to joking around. I apologized a few more times. And as a thank you for everyone to being such great sports, I bought the next round of beers. Even better, we continued to hang out for like another hour or 2 afterwards. You guys even signed the treasure tokens you gave me, and Mike even asked my opinion on a card replacement for his deck. I had such a great time with you guys. It was just laughs, ribs, cringe, smiles, story sharing, and drinking. Like I said, for a few hours, I felt like I was back in my college dorm playing Magic with my friends. Thanks for making this by far the con highlight for me. I may have to buy a set of your salt sleeves now for my Aminatou deck. From Rob from Jersey. Well, thanks.
From Jersey,
Rob.
bro? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a fucking wild game.
It was.
What was
we
the-
all 3 of us milled our soul ring.
Yeah.
So that was a point where it was like, there was one point where it was like,
At least we
Sam
all
rolled
did
his,
it.
milled his soul ring, and I was like, oh, there goes another one.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes another one.
So I think like a really funny side piece of salt that didn't come to fruition from this game was that as Lyric was milling through her Animar deck, like at one point she mills and she's like, Vorinclex. And we're like, Vorinclex? And then she mills again. She's like, my Jin Cataxius. We're like, Jin Cataxius? Like, what the fuck? You're playing this like crazy salty shit. She's like, it's bracket 4. And we're like, oh my God, dude. Like, so we were subjected to some salt, but saved from another type of salt. But holy shit, man. It was just the most futile shit. Like once he got into this loop where we just had to sack all our creatures away.
Yeah.
Because I would play a couple mana dorks and be like, hey, like I'm rebuilding. Maybe I'll get Kona out. I can cheat some shit in. Nah.
Yeah. And that Liliana, the key ability is that there's a down tick, -2 loyalty counters. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures.
Yep.
But then Liliana is also making you draw whenever a creature you control or a zombie you control dies, I think. So you're refilling your hand while sacrificing these creatures. And sacrifice 2 creatures every turn effectively
Devastating.
is enough to really just start shutting down a board of players trying to develop using green, basically.
Yeah.
And then there was like a Dovin's veto, so we knew there was this interaction. Like I had something that would have dealt 3 damage to all creatures and all planeswalkers, which would have been great, would have cleaned up like the board really well.
Yeah.
But in exactly those turns, we know there's a Dovin's veto. So it's like, okay, well, I can't.
And
even
nobody can
play
back
into
it up
that.
for you.
Yeah. And, and
Not at
nobody
all.
can back that up. Exactly. So
And I had an opportunity to get a Lurking Predators out one turn, but like it was this thing where if I did it, Rob was gonna draw off the Ristic. And even then, like the thing with Rob's board was that he wasn't really casting spells. It was all Planeswalker abilities. The fact that he had Oath of Teferi out and could like double tap every Planeswalker and flicker one with Aminatou and like hit it again. Like that's what made the Liliana so devastating was that it would go up, he'd like up ticket, down ticket, flicker it, up ticket, down ticket. And it was like, Jesus Christ. Like
what are we doing
we're
here?
just getting so fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it at the time too, but I think one of the things that you can do when you're a player taking a lot of the game actions in a game like this is continue to take them and just be really consistent. Don't necessarily always go for the optimal thing. Just make sure you're always progressing and moving forward, using your resources, playing cards, making things happen, and not getting like stun locked by like, oh shit, I have a lot in play. What do I do? And tank at the same time that you're monopolizing game actions. And Rob did an excellent job of just like doing shit. It was like it would get to Rob's turn and he would just start taking actions and like would go the whole time until he had used most of his stuff and then passed with, some mana up to interact. But like that consistency made it so much more tolerable than if each turn had an extra 10 minutes of like oh guys, I don't know what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do
Oh,
right
let me
now.
just think. And we're like,
It's
just
like,
take it, game actions.
There's a point where you're far enough ahead that it doesn't matter exactly what you do as long as you continue to do some things.
Yeah.
And he got there and then he followed through on that. It is funny though when you have a card like Altar of the Brood and suddenly any game action that you're going to take has everyone
It's
else
longer.
need to do something.
Yeah.
I feel like that was actually the thing I was going to say, that I think the Altar of the Brood is what made it painful.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Because every single time he's doing a thing, blinking a thing, you have everybody mill one, everybody mill another one.
Yeah.
I did another thing, everybody mill one. Like,
It's almost like okay, you guys can't zone out. You can't just let me play and zone out. You have to be a part of this party
Yeah.
also. I thought
but it's easy to start missing it too if it's like, all right, I do this thing, I got two things.
Mhm.
Oh wait, sorry, you guys have to mill, or like you should have milled earlier and you didn't. Like, please mill now. Like, kind of.
Yeah.
It just adds time.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say, like Mike said, it was well oiled. Like, I don't even think the Altar of the Brood really added that much time, and it did keep us engaged.
Yeah.
But like to Rob's credit, he piloted that deck. Like, I don't even think he was taking game actions to keep things fast. Like, it was just fucking like calculated efficiency. He was just like boom, boom, boom. And the funniest part was when the game was over, he was like, look at my deck. I swear it's not like a Pubstomper deck. And we flipped through it and it was like, yeah, this is just kind of like a slow,
You did
like
just
Planeswalker deck.
You found your best 6 cards probably to start this all off.
I mean,
with,
Altar of the Brood, Soul Ring into
early
Mana
Ristic.
Vault with a Ristic Study is like, you know, Soul Ring and Mana Vault is like
CDH,
5.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
keepable
and those
hands.
cards also with an
Exactly.
Aminatou where you can blink them too.
You can
and like
Blink the Vault,
Yeah.
dude. Oh, it's
blinking vault for
crazy.
extra mana. Like it's gonna do wild stuff.
Yeah.
And high rolling seat one. Like it was
Yeah.
very much the perfect storm of my deck never does this. And
Literally.
it's true. Like
Yeah.
it never does. It probably never does exactly that.
Yeah.
Because it just hit like the upper
Every
end
piece
of
of
its
fast
variance.
mana.
What's
in
funny,
the
if the
deck.
Ristic didn't land, if somebody could have stopped it or removed it, like, I wonder if it still would have been so bad.
I don't think it would have been. Like, the problem was that we were still in the setup phase, and like, you know, when it's turn 1 and 2 and you're trying to cast like rocks and mana dorks, you can't really pay for Ristic. Like, we weren't in a position to really be able to pay for Ristic until like,
It was too late.
like turn 3 or 4. And even by the time we got there, it was too late. And like, you lose so much advantage paying when your opponent has 10 mana and you have 4 mana.
Yeah.
And everything for you costs 1 more. You're losing so much.
What do you
so.
think Ristic needs to draw to be, quote, worth it?
Worth it in a deck?
I guess, but it's like, I mean, more like I cast Ristic Study,
Uh-huh.
and like rotation goes around. Is if nobody pays, nobody pays. Like, how many cards do you want to have drawn off of Ristic for it to be worth it? Sure, you can argue that you like slow them down or whatever, but I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that ratio in your mind?
Put differently, you cast Ristic as soon as opponents have cast 3 cards, you've either prevented as much mana as you've put into playing the Ristic,
Yeah.
or have drawn cards.
Yeah.
So I think as soon as 3 cards have been cast into Ristic, you're kind of already at the break-even point, regardless of which decision they make.
Yeah, that's a good way of assessing it. I mean, I think like you could also compare it to other draw spells like, you know, Opt, which is 1 mana and you get to like get a card. Like cantrips.
Get to scry and then get a card.
True. But like if you compare it to like a 1 mana cantrip or
blue, he doesn't know.
a
He
2
doesn't even know
mana-
the blue cards.
I don't care. Or a 2 mana spell that lets you draw 2 cards. I mean, if you think about it as like a 3 mana spell, you're probably looking for 3. You know, even Harmonize is 4 mana and you draw 3 cards. So I think like you need, once you get 2 or 3 cards off it, it's already paid for itself. Like the rate is there compared to other cards out there.
Well, what do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
It's hard to say that it was high salt because Rob was such a fucking sweetheart about it. I think if Rob had been like taken up time or like been even a little like nasty about it or anything like that, but he was just so sweet, and he bought us beers afterwards because he felt so bad.
Yeah.
Like it was funny because Dean and Lyric bought us a round, and when we finished, I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy you guys a round of beer because you bought us beer, I'm gonna buy you beer. And Rob was like, let me. He was like, no, I'm gonna buy you guys
I
beer.
think
This one's on me.
in reality, I think it's like the salt in this is kind of like when you make a meal for yourself and you've made it a bunch,
Yeah.
and like you put too much salt in it this time, and and you had friends over, they've never had it before, and they eat it, and they're like, no, like it's not that bad. Like this is fun. Like
Yeah.
we did the thing, but you're like, oh my god, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like this is so salty. My
I'm so
friends are
sorry,
like having
guys.
a horrible
This isn't
experience.
it.
I don't know what to fucking do. And like Rob, man, I feel
Oh,
you, bro.
man.
I feel you.
Yeah, that's me
but it
whenever I
was
cook
nice.
food
It
for
was
people
fun.
and it's
Still
not as
enjoyed
good. I'm like, I
Yeah.
swear it's usually better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually good. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad, and I'm bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
The
That's
other
it.
the other like salty part of it is they were set up for a game of CDH where they kind of didn't get to do anything.
Yeah.
And then they had this casual game.
And
And they're
they
like,
did some
oops,
shit."
I did everything.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of salty to not get to have like a super kind of, even back and forth kind of
Yeah.
fight a little bit too. But I do think this was a game where I could see those exact game actions happening in a pod of people that like can't vibe well
Yes.
and have an unpleasant game.
And it's a
And
bummer.
it's a totally different thing when you're just hanging out playing this game. And yes, this person is dominating you, but it's still kind of a fun chill time
Yeah,
chatting
yeah,
and
definitely.
watching it happen as well. So
I think there's also a grain of salt of being the person who is stoked on, the podcast, or it could be any YouTuber or anything like that. And you're like, man, I finally get a chance to play a game. And then the game is like kind of lopsided or kind of whack. Like I've had experiences like that at like our Patreon game night where someone's like, man, I've been waiting to play with you for so long, Sam, this is going to be great. And then they just like never get a second land drop and they're just discarding the whole time. and they're like, can you do a second game? And I'm like, it's like midnight. I can't, dude. And it's, it's just like you're waiting for this one moment and then the game is a bust.
Yeah.
So I think like you said, if the vibes were any different, it would have been rough, but man, it was fucking fun. And I will say, so we played another game after that. Rob sat out and was just hanging with us, but we played a game with Lyric and Dean, and Lyric was playing her Animar deck again. And we had this crazy interaction where she is trying to go off with Ancestral Statue. And
Thought it wasn't that kind of deck.
well, it's a bracket 4, So she didn't have like an infinite for it, but it gave like some slow value, and she was able to go through her deck a little bit.
she had
Infinite
Beast
Animar.
Whisperer, so she had draw her whole deck
Basically,
And
just
an
didn't-
infinite animal.
and an infinite Animar.
infinite Animar,
Yeah,
but didn't
it was
have
just
like a
little.
direct
It was just a
win.
little trickier to figure out what the actual win was going to be.
Yeah.
from
If
there,
she had,
wasn't
like, a
like
fling in
terror
there.
or something.
Yeah.
It
Like
wasn't
hit
like
somebody with
terror.
Animar, then
There wasn't
fling
like a
Animar at
ballista.
somebody.
Yeah, fling.
But
That'd be
dude,
funny.
so there's this moment where Ancestral Statue's on the stack.
Cast
Cast.
on the field.
Yeah.
Ancestral
Yeah,
Statue.
the ETB is it's there. It's on the stack. You had a piece of interaction where I think you phased it out or something. What was the
No,
interaction? there?
Chaos Warped.
Chaos warped it.
Mm,
So you cast a Chaos Warp on it.
that's very different than phasing
She
it.
had a thing to protect it that would phase it out. And Dean had a deflecting swat. So Dean swats the phasing away.
What was the phasing?
It was
Like
like
some
to
blue
flip out-
bullshit?
flip out
or
the back.
like-
That's it. Slip out
Slip
the back.
out the back is +1/+1.
Oh.
I think untaps it and then phases it out.
Yeah. Tony. It's not a
Tony.
fart.
Whoa.
So, anyways, her protection gets like disrupted, and the Chaos Warp goes back on the stack. You hear stories of this happening all the time. I've never seen it happen. Shuffles the Ancestral Statue
Oh my
into the deck,
god.
hands it to me. I give it a fucking clean cut top card, Ancestral Statue, and we lose. And we
Yeah.
were all just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
It was wild.
That
I've
is
never seen that
insane.
happen ever. I've always heard the rumors, never seen it happen to
Yeah.
me. It was cool.
And of course, we're enjoying this interesting, weird, rare moment that happened. And I'm sitting over there like a sweat, like, shit, we should have changed the phasing target to the Animar. And then it would
Literally.
have stopped the interaction.
Yeah. Afterwards, Mike was like, dude, we could have won. We could have not lost that game. We're like, fuck.
Oh my
Well,
god.
should we move on to another salty story, guys? That was a
Let's
good
do
one.
it. Yeah.
Really hope that there's another Command Fest in Worcester. It was a good time.
It was.
We had a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I just the vibe of a small local convention was a great time, man.
Yep.
It was cool. So, anyways, give me a search term here, guys.
Ham.
Ham. This one comes to us from our buddy Mardude, and the post is titled "Gaslit, Gatekept, Girlbossed, period." With the T at the end of the period.
Aight.
Put those toes away, Tony. Please Dan, cut that. Censor
Dan,
those.
keep it in.
Dan, every time Tony's feet are on screen, you have to censor it. We'll pay you more. Get those out of here. I don't want to look at them.
Your toes can be up. Your
Normally,
toes have been
I'm
out
not
the whole
wiggling them.
time.
I'm not wiggling them sensually.
Normally you
It's
have to
not
pay for the
sensual.
toe footage, but for us, we'll actually pay you for every time that you have to look at the toe footage.
All right.
It's not sensual. You just, if that wakens something in you, that's not my fault.
Sensuality is in the eye of the beholder,
Yeah.
Tony.
It's just bumming me out.
My toes can be free here.
All right, we have to move past it. Gaslit, Gatekept, girl boss, period. Salt fathers, I come to you in the saline ways, asking that my tears be once again washed away, my sodium levels be ever refilled, and my fourth players forever get fucked. Hopefully this one is a little shorter than last time. Quick scroll. It's not. Thank you. Last weekend, I fucked up at my LGS. They do a deal for pre-release for both in-store kits and take-home kits to let folks rip some packs even if they aren't into the sealed events. That's cool. It's been a minute since I attended an in-store event there. My lovely partner broke their ankle over winter break, and I prioritized spending time and caring for them over attending Aether Drift and Tarkir events.
Well
Hey,
done.
Good for you. 11 screws, a plate, and a couple of months of physical therapy later, and Honeybeared has gotten back up on their feet, literally, so I'm not as needed at home. For Final Fantasy, I was pretty stoked to jam some sealed. I put FNM on Honeybear's radar. Honeybear, sorry, no, it's a term of endearment, but it's giving me the giggles. I put FNM on Honeybear's radar all week and made sure that the day of, they knew I was heading out and wouldn't be making dinner. All good, they ordered some girl dinner and found a movie for the night to get comfy
dinner.
with. Girl dinner.
Girl dinner.
I roll up to the LGS front counter and ask for a bundle box and a pre-release kit. The store wasn't fully packed yet, and there was a solid turnout for 30 minutes till launch. I brought my merch, chugged an energy drink, and signed in with the companion app code provided. I started bouncing giddily as I unsleeved my last pre-release kit from the ceremonial protectors. 15 minutes till go time. I look up at the screen with participants' names. Weird. I'm not showing up. I go double check at the front counter. I feel the cold sweat that normally comes from facing down 2 open blue mana. The screen of names in the big box of kits at the side counter. Shit, I grabbed a take-home kit. I do the walk of shame out of the store with my cards and go home to Honeybear. Surprised to see me at the door, I sheepishly explain to them what happened. They are super understanding, and we agree to crack packs tonight before watching their movie, and we'll build sealed together tomorrow.
Oh,
That's nice.
that's sweet.
That is sweet. My partner plays MTG with me here and there, and we have fun. We used to play Jumpstart, and they wanted something that felt a little more constructed with their preferences. However, with 2025 design, every card is a novel, and they get overwhelmed with sealed. I help them build decks and walk through the stack and weird interactions. Since we started playing, they've made Magic more of their own by renaming things to make more internal sense. The beginning phase consists of Gaslight, Gatekeep, and Girl Boss. Untap, upkeep, and draw. Next is McPick 1, Wombat, then McPick 2, Main 1, Combat, Main 2. When they're ready to pass, they announce period with the T at the end. I'll admit, it's how I refer to steps and phases in Commander games at the LGS when I'm out now. Since I'm more skilled in the cardboard arts, we also play with a house rule. Once per game, they have a free Narset's reversal / stifle no, and the card bounces to hand, or an activated or triggered ability fizzles. Wow, that's powerful. Can I get that when we play?
No,
You can call me Honeybear.
I already do.
It evens the playing field a little since they are still learning how to latch onto sealed synergies. For an at-home pre-release, they build Black-White Sacrifice, and I make red-blue 4+ mana spells. Game 1, I play out some job-select jobbers while I try to draw into red mana when they land Ultima, Origin of Oblivion, and start Blight counter ramping to a removal spell plus creature each turn. By the time I draw a second mountain to get to a board wipe, my first mountain has been Blight countered and rendered a waste. I give them the satisfaction of swinging for lethal and head to game 2. This time, I get to a slightly better start with a mix of mana and some blockers. I even land Tella, Great Sage, to start pooping out hero tokens and drawing 2 for each 4+ mana non-creature. And as a true Izzet Spellslinger enjoyer, I'm ready to come.
Oh my god.
He was shooting that Izzet rope, bro.
It just came out of nowhere.
It's been all wholesome, and then it was just like, boom.
Not even like, I'm ready to bust. Not even like, no colorful language, no metaphor.
No, straight to it. That's
I'm
what
ready
I like.
to come. I play some 4-mana overcosted bounce spell.
I don't know
and
that
put
he
Teller's
dropped
trigger
the
on the
voice
stack.
octave to do it.
I'm
Like,
ready to
just
come.
Oh God.
Let's see. So they put a 4-mana overcosted bounce spell and put Teller's trigger on the stack. No, the ability fizzles on the stack. I've got mana for days and a bunch of blockers, and as long as I top deck another 4-cost, I'm winning the game. Just a minor setback. 3 turns later, I look at my decimated board state compared to a Sephiroth, a flying 3/3, and idiots that I can't functionally chump without taking the one anyways. It's a good game. I start to feel that itch, the same itch that every Magic player feels when they get 0-2'd in a limited game. What if they hadn't had removal? What if card was different card? I can't stop myself. I know it's a salty knee-jerk, so I ham it up to not be so whiny. I begin mansplaining about how well-timed Honeybeared's no was, how I've been flooded since then, and I go to demonstrate how actually, without the house counter, I flip the top 2 of my deck, hit an instant ramen and another land, and I would have died on board anyways. We laugh about it together. For the first time in a while, Honeybeared feels pretty good with their deck building and play. I'm happy. Getting girl bossed was honestly more fun than getting to play at Friday Night Magic anyways. Hope you enjoyed a secret sugar break. Do any of your loved ones play MTG with you? Have any alternative names for steps and phases you want to share? Looking forward to hearing what sweet treats you salty dicklings come up with. Till next time, Mar Dude. Well, thank you for the tale. We appreciate it.
Love the story. I want to
yeah.
read one card
Hit
that was
me.
mentioned, which is Ultima, Origin of Oblivion. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this card yet.
I have it.
I've seen
it's
the
cool.
art. I can't remember what the card does.
It's 5 colorless for a legendary creature god. Flying, whenever Ultima attacks, put a blight counter on target land. For as long as that land has a blight counter on it, it loses all land types and abilities and has tap, add a colorless. Then whenever you tap a land for colorless, add an additional colorless. It's a 4/4.
Pretty hot.
So you can hit your own lands to turn them into ancient tombs, essentially, that tap because they're tapping for 2. Or you can hit other
Well, no,
people's
'cause you're not
lands
taking damage.
and
seal
choke them
off
for
the-
color.
Yeah, seal off their colors. It's pretty powerful. I've
Pretty
seen
great,
some people
especially
do
in a
CDH
limited
decks
environment, yeah.
with it. Because you usually
Yeah.
only have like 1 or 2 lands.
Runs in like Zuladoc and shit.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. I do like the various steps and phases. I don't know if we have any alternate names. Tony always says like hit that upkeep or like slap that upkeep. Like you get really like percussive
Yeah,
with
I
your
get a little
upkeep.
cheeky in my upkeep. you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. I'm trying to think of what Nick says because he's definitely like the biggest culprit for like alternate names
Yeah.
and shit.
Sometimes we go to punchies
Yeah,
for combat.
That's a classic mental misplay. Go to
Yeah,
punchies.
Go to punchies.
Go to dumpies when you got to discard your hand down to 7. Have you heard that one?
No, I haven't
Yeah,
heard that
punchies, and then it's like, go to dumpies, and you discard to 7.
one. Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
I'm definitely the kind of player that says untap, upkeep, draw every single turn. I know some people don't like that, but I love it. I love to, even turn 0 when I don't really have anything to upkeep and untap, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think I have anything other than untap, hit that upkeep.
Yeah.
draw.
Yeah. You're hitting that upkeep.
Yeah, I hit it.
I think sometimes you said like schlip that schlup keep and stuff. Like there's there's some variations on
that's
it.
happened for sure. no
It's so
no doubt in my mind.
disappointed.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotta
Yeah.
slip the schlot, you know.
Yeah. Story
Um,
also asks partners that play.
Yes.
My partner does not play yet, but it's a big yet.
Mm.
She's
They said
expressed,
loved ones.
she's expressed some
you guys are my
interest.
loved
Oh,
ones.
Oh my
that's
God.
sweet.
Honey Bear. My wife, I've talked about it before, but my wife and I used to play lots of Magic when we were dating and in college and first living together. And like back then, I wasn't really into Commander and it was all the 60 card days. And I had a bunch of like these janky kitchen table 60 card decks that I built out of my collection. And at one point, I remember I had 20. I had 20 of these decks, all like pretty similar power level. And because they were all built like me, they had like the same flair to them. So Caroline and I would sit down and we'd each take a D20 and we'd roll it and pick a random deck and just go heads up and then set those aside and roll again and do another game. And we would just play like that for like hours. And it was really fun. Also because I taught her how to play Magic, she plays a lot like me. So she was like,
So she's sweaty.
she's really sweaty with it. I remember we were playing with my friend Bo, and I'm sure I've told this story maybe hundreds of episodes ago. But we were playing with my friend Bo and at the LGS, and like I was playing with someone else, and Bo got paired up with Caroline, And she had this mono green deck that was like, had like some regenerate in it, but it had, what's that? It had Blanchwood armor in it. Blanchwood armor, which gives your creatures +1/+1 for each forest you have.
Yep.
And then it had the Primal Bellow, which is an instant that gives your
That
creatures
also does
+1/+1 for each forest you have. So, and it was all Leatherback Baloths, which are 4/3s for 3 green mana, or Garruk's Companion, which is a 3/2 trample for 2 mana. So you get a 3/2 trample for 2 mana. You put a Blanchwood armor on it. You give it Primal Bellow, you're attacking in for like 9 or 10 or something.
Yeah.
Or you put a couple Blanchwood armors on it. And I just remember she just like crushed Bo like game after game. And, it's like, it's an unfortunate stereotype and trope, but sometimes when people are like, oh, like you're playing against the girlfriend, like it's going to be, got to put the training wheels on and whatever. And she just fucking crushed it. And it was like, it was so good, dude.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Let's girl boss this right out of the picture.
Yeah, he still fucking talks about it. It's really, really funny. But we don't really play anymore. I got way too sweaty and deep into like Commander, just like the such optimized play that it's like, it's not as fun to go 1v1 against me anymore.
Yeah. I feel like
Sorry.
I've played your wife.
Probably.
Did you not say? Have we
No,
never said her name?
I just said her name, Caroline.
Oh yeah, I've played Caroline like in the Wayback Machine for
Definitely.
sure. My partner does not play Magic, but her sister does, and I have played Magic with her one time.
Oh yeah.
And she like
weren't they at MagicCon Chicago and we were like ships in the night?
I think they
like,
were,
missed
yeah,
them?
yeah, and we just didn't see them. But what she wound up doing was her sister had made her this deck that was like a like one of these life gainy things. There's some fucking Orzhov commander that is the other side of Sanguine Bond or whatever on a stick of like when you gain that much life. It's not that one. It's a different one.
It's fucking who's the horny vampire in Baldur's Gate 3?
Asterion.
It's Asterion.
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And so she knew enough.
Life gain, babe.
Well, she knew enough that like
you like that?
She was
my
like,
Asterion?
oh my God, no.
I want to stab a child.
Oh, that actually was kind of good.
That's what he sounds like, man.
He does.
I don't like Asterion.
We got that. that came through.
All I know is she got enough to be like, if I hit you right now with this, you're gonna lose half your life, and then you're gonna lose it again, right? And you die. I was like, that is exactly how that'll work. She was like, okay, I hit you and you die. I was like, cool.
I love the joy. There's a weird ironic joy in like walking a newer player through exactly how they're going to kill you. And you're like, yeah, that is it. We kind of had that in our CDH game where I borrowed Lotho.
Yeah.
Because I had a necromancy in my hand, and I had
an entomb in my hand, and I didn't know what to do with it.
Yes,
literally.
Oh, really?
I had necromancy and entomb.
Not Asterion,
Abdel.
Yeah.
Abdel was in my hand. So I was asking Mike, I was like, well, what good creatures should I be entombing for? And you were like, well, Abdel. And I was like, what other ones? Like not trying to not trying to show too much. Like, what other creatures? And you're like, well, Lane and Relic Warder could do it. And
it's
I was
a backup
like,
Abdel.
I was like, oh, okay. Well, how does that combo? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, with the necromancy. And I had a Meat Hook Masker out. And I was like, okay, and then Meat Hook pings. And you're like, yeah, so that would do it if you could find that. And I was like, okay. Entomb, Lane and Relic Warder, necromancy. And then you were like, why no Abdel? And I just revealed my hand. It's the only card I had left.
Out of quick curiosity, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent here, but what's the choice there of like wait for somebody else to start to either pop off or win? And because you can do all that at instant speed. Like, why do it right then? I assume you're saying this was on your turn.
It was, yeah.
Like, why do it then instead of waiting? I guess it depends on
you had a Grand Abolisher in play.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, then
that'll simplify the decision making.
I had just dropped a Grand Abolisher, and I was like, and a bunch of people like did some interaction on top of the stack, but like it.
So remove the Abolisher. When would you do it?
It depends. It's when you think your window is best. So if it's your main phase, but everybody else is tapped out, that's probably still your best window. But if somebody else, even if just the next player in turn order has some mana open, I might try passing just to see if they like go for an end step tutor or something, or do something in my end step,
Yep.
and then maybe try and do it on top of that. It's whenever you think the least resources are going to be available for stopping you. So
For sure.
if there's like a draw thing out in play for someone, you're
Mhm.
going to want to do it before that gets going, or if it's a Ristic, you're going to want to do it before people start trying to fight for things.
I feel like as somebody who plays a lot of decks that don't have counter magic and CDH,
mhm.
I'm always like, when to do.
When's
Yeah.
my window?
And
That's one of the
I
most
like decks
interesting
that are more
questions.
like, I'm just gonna keep fucking trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to the ones where like I
You
feel
have to
like
find it.
Bad Hobbit is
Lotho. Yeah.
Lotho.
Lotho.
is definitely one of those ones where you truly have to wait for your window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lotho's thing is you're trying to make enough resources that you can leave your potential open for a long time, and then either with a silence or a carefully chosen window, go for it.
Yeah. It was an interesting moment because the Kaikar player, Dean, had just like popped the fuck off. Like did a huge
Big storm turn.
and like, went to dumpies and went down to 7. So had like a pretty good sculpted hand that I assumed had a lot of interaction. So I think if I didn't have the Grand Abolisher to bait things out, I would not have gone for it. But just playing the Grand Abolisher was a safe enough play where I was like, if the Abolisher sticks,
Hooray.
Then I will
great.
win.
and if it doesn't stick, then I'm just not going to go for the win and
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
pass. But because he had just popped off so much, I kind of knew that Mike didn't have any interaction. And I knew that the Animard player didn't have any interaction. Stop touching toes.
It's footsies, but it is starting with toes.
So, anyways, what do you guys think about the salt rating on this one?
Hey.
We got to keep things moving, Mr.
I was
Toe Boy.
about to. Let's try that again. Clean cut. Yo, what do you guys think about the salt rating on that one?
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's sugary sweet. I think like what we're talking about, kind of like what you were saying with your partner or sister, just like fucking up your day. Like there's some joy in having somebody who's new at Magic kind of like just thwomp you a little bit.
Because the win of that game was then somebody doing like a Heat Shimmer dual caster mage combo
nice.
that
That's
they
hot.
weren't. They're like, do I win if I do this? I was like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then
Yeah,
they
you
were starting to do it wrong. I was like, think about what you want to copy.
Yeah.
Then you get there. It is. It's
Those
like
are great
fun.
moments.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just fun to share your hobby with loved ones when you can.
Oh,
It's the best,
1000%.
for sure.
Yeah.
Let's do a third story, guys. Give me another search term, please.
Plug.
Plug. Got the plug. Nothing for that.
Fuck,
Load.
really?
Load. All right, we do have one for load.
Yay.
We have a few actually. So let me pick this one.
Wait.
So this one comes just from our buddy Brian, and the post is titled "Accidental Chicago Pub Stomp." And the story goes.
I love when they're sort of oddly specific like that.
Yeah. It's like 3 random words almost. Hey, Salty Boys, been a fan since you had Andy and Kyle on from Legendary Creature Podcast. Great podcast. Well, thanks, guys. Love those dudes. Our story begins at MagicCon Chicago. My wife, brother-in-law, and I drove down from Milwaukee for the weekend to buy some art and jam some games of
Nice.
Commander. As a pot of 3, we were hoping we would entice some single players into joining us so we could play with 4 like Richard Garfield intended.
Hmm.
Hey, me and my podmates saw you from across the bar, and we like your vibe. This worked well most of the day with people joining and leaving periodically and all players having some great games. The trouble began late in the night on Friday when we were about to play and another new guy asks to join. Absolutely, we all say, and we all introduce ourselves and began our pre-game power level discussion. My wife was on Thassa, God of the Sea, Merfolks, and Sea Monsters. Brother-in-law was playing a Rule 0 Throne of the Grim Captain that flips into the Grim Captain. The fuck is that?
No idea.
Not a valid commander is what it is.
Yeah, is that like an MDFC or something?
I think it's one of the craft cards.
Basically a very janky mono black Voltron deck. I was on Kydel and Rebek with a Karuga companion. My deck wants to cast big draw 7 spells like Echo of Aeons in order to get Kydel tapping for a shitload of colorless mana and drop huge artifacts. Knowing all that about our decks, I told the random guy, let's call him Randy, that all of our decks are probably like 2s or 3s, probably closer to 3s. We definitely didn't bring any 4s or CDH decks. He looked at me a bit strangely and then smiled and said he had a deck that would work. I won't play my stacked CDH deck against you guys. I just left a pod and won with it. Cool, bro. Fucking cool. Thanks, dude.
Yes, correct.
He pulls out a Shea Cormac Assassin's Creed deck that he said he had built with the help of his YouTube subscribers. Great. So we start the game. Everything starts out fine, and everyone playing stuff, no one missing land drops or anything. But I start to notice all of Randy's cards are not only just random commons, but also not really synergistic in any way. Every turn, he plays some new draft chaff common that doesn't really affect the board or do anything. As the rest of our decks are developing reasonably good cards with synergy, I can see him getting more withdrawn and less talkative, until he reaches some sort of breaking point. I cast a Time Spiral, notably a very good card in my deck, and also a card that is very expensive. He says, "Wow, that's a really expensive card," in a flat tone. To which I respond, "Yeah, I've always loved this card, and I'm happy I finally have a deck and could go in." Because it was legitimately the first time I was able to cast it since I put this deck together. He then responds by quickly standing up and saying, "Okay, I'm done. My deck is obviously not at the power level you guys are playing at." Threw his cards into his deck box and angrily walked away from our table. We all just sat there confused, but finished the game. After the game, I had a little bit of time to reflect. MagicCon Chicago was the first real event that Wizards was testing the new bracket system. During our pregame conversation, I never explicitly said the word bracket. Fuck. Randy thought we were all going to be playing decks at a 3 power level on the old 1 to 10 scale. He played a legitimate 3 on the 1 to 10, and we were pub stomping him with our 7s. So Randy, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the con. P.S. Y'all have inspired me to build my first CDH deck. Still in the
Nice.
testing phases, but I'm excited about this vast new world of possible salt. Thanks, boys. Interesting story.
Yeah.
So they were playing an Assassin's Creed deck that was just full of random commons, seemed like non-synergistic draft chaff was what it was described as.
Didn't they say they were playing bracket 2 though?
They said 2s and 3s, probably closer to 3s.
Oh, okay.
The lost in translation piece of the bracket.
Yeah,
Bracket
that's
to old
interesting.
numerics conversion is tough.
Yeah, no, I got that. Is Time Twister a fucking
Game changer? I don't think Time Spiral is. No.
Yeah, it's not Time Twister, it's Time Spiral, which
What the
is
fuck is that?
expensive, but it's
6
not
mana.
$3,000 like it is.
It's basically a Time Twister, but 6 mana.
Yeah.
It's not even a good card. 6 mana to do it?
Still costs like 60
not
to
3.
$90.
Yeah, it's still spency.
Fuck it.
This is an interesting one though. So I don't know if this really was like a miscommunication between like brackets and old power level systems. Like
I think
it
that
definitely
theory
could
has
be.
merit. It could have been
Yeah.
that.
But also like the thing that has me confused is I'm like, who's walking around with a power level 3 deck in 2025? Like off the old scale, you know?
Yeah.
Because like you built a deck that's worse than a pre-con and you're bringing it to conventions. I just don't. We've talked
I don't
about
think
this on the
anybody's-
show
I think-
before. I just don't think people are really building those.
I think they were just doing fuck all. To be honest, if somebody like Time Twister effect in me in that
Yeah.
scenario, I'd be like, cool. Like I get a brand new 7. And then if I still had fuck all, then maybe I'd do it. But I wouldn't be like, you cast a 6 mana, we all draw 7 new cards.
Yeah.
Like you guys are playing unfair to me now.
Yeah.
You know?
Shit starts getting wacky at 6 mana too. Even at like
Yeah.
very low power levels, like 6, 7 mana
Oh,
cards
yeah,
are going
man.
to start doing big splashy things.
Yeah.
They should.
And they should. So I think I mean, it sounds like this person got pretty salty, but I don't think that the situation necessarily was a huge source of it.
Yeah. I don't think it's Brian's fault or anything like that with like
Yeah.
lack of communication. I mean, it's true that like the bracket system was new, but also if this person is making content, if they have a YouTube channel, like you gotta be plugged in a little bit to like the buzz of the world of Magic in Commander, you know? Like you had to have seen bracket stuff and seen that like at
Yeah.
Chicago, it was going to be tested for the first time. I didn't really see anyone at Chicago that was walking around being like, my deck's a 7. Like everyone was doing their best to start to use the new
Yeah.
terms. Even people who were just kind of like not really aware of all that, you
Yeah.
know?
I do
So-
think the dynamic of 3 people that know each other's decks pretty well and can kind of line up power levels pretty easily, trying to mesh with a 4th player can be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you all got decks chosen already, you really owe that 4th player like almost a little bit extra of an explanation of what those decks are going to do. Not
Yeah.
necessarily owe, but it's beneficial to give one because
It'll
everyone
line
else
you up better.
is probably going to be pretty closely lined up. So that person being out of line is going to, it's not like there's a wide spectrum and they're going to fit in on that. Like if you're all dialed in and they're outside of that range, it's going
Yeah.
to be really noticeable.
Which is exactly what happened.
I think the best thing you can do in a situation like that is ask the fourth player what they want to play, and then make your own deck selection based off that.
They're gonna say CDH stacks because that's what they just fucking did.
That's a kind of cringe.
You know,
That is really
I won't play my CH stacks deck against you
that
that
I
I just won with.
I love that. I
I'll
think
play
that's
this
really
other
funny.
deck my YouTube subscribers helped me build.
Yeah, right.
Just
Just like
YouTube subscribers
double
suck,
ego
though.
stroking. Yeah. Their subscribers were like, you should run this draft chaff piece. And I'm like, hell yeah. Fucking sick.
You should run a haystack.
Haystack.
Well,
Dude, haystack.
I feel like this one's kind of basic. What do we think on the Sol rating here on this one?
Honestly, I think Randy, I don't know. This is a very typical salt. This is a single salt packet, if that, maybe half a salt packet.
Mm.
Randy had one bad game. It's kind of a bummer. Maybe you're left wondering. I think that's the saltiest thing, is that like Brian is left being like, could I have made this experience better for this player? Am I the cause of
Him
the
and his
salt?
pod, it's like, oh, we were all here. Somebody was like, hey,
Yeah.
let's play. And then they left.
Yeah,
You're
and
like,
you gave
oh,
him a bad time.
you can't help
It never
but feel
feels
like
good.
it's you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You know,
it's not a good feeling.
maybe it was you guys. Maybe you guys fucking suck. Maybe you pubstomped this poor CDH
Yeah,
stacks
with this Rule
YouTube
Zero
subscriber
bullshit deck,
boy.
dude. Rule
Yeah.
Zero Voltron bullshit.
But-
illegal.
Also, we have talked sometimes about like, I mean, if you're having a bad time and not enjoying a game,
Get the fuck out.
get out.
Yeah.
You're allowed to leave.
You're allowed
and
to
it
leave,
seems
man.
like this person reached a tipping point and wasn't having a good time and felt like they were, wasting
Outclassed or whatever.
Yeah,
wasting their time.
outclassed, wasting their time, not having an enjoyable time, and so they left. And I can also see a world where you're in an environment with 3 other people that know each other. Your deck is getting outclassed. Maybe you're not able to partake in like some of the banter and the
Yeah,
fun
their
times that
chumminess,
the
those kinds of
chumminess,
things.
and it all just starts to coalesce into an experience that isn't
You're
positive.
like, you hate me.
and they left.
And then you
So
get up and you leave.
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
for sure get it.
it's nice that they were able to still finish out their game and hopefully didn't ruin a whole Chicago weekend for them.
Well, is it that time of the fucking week, Sam?
Tony, what time of the week is it?
It's the time of the week that comes
fuck.
every
Tony,
week,
I
every
think- I
motherfucking
think
week.
It is that time of the week. Tony, I think it is that time of the week. Clean take, clean take, clean take.
The
Tony, I
fuck?
think it is that
This
time of
is
the
the
week.
second time recently where you're just like going off the rails.
Yeah, and
It's
I
been
didn't,
on
I didn't
such
even
a-
give Sam notes on a extra version of this we wanted him to do. So
It's the time of the week that comes every motherfucking week. I don't even know.
Every
now. You
motherfucking
throwing me
week,
off.
baby. It's the time of the week where we say, Mike,
Mike.
what's the salty card of the week?
the salty card of the week this week is
Here I go, here I go, here I go again. Boys, what turn is it? 10. Okay then, chillin', minding my business. The salt, I looked around and I couldn't believe this. I swear, I stared, the judge, my witness. Opponent had it going on with something kinda, no-go, a no-go. I can't attack it. They cast a Tef Pro, so ask for the bracket. A 1, no, that's at least 3. Salt scores high, Mike and Tony agree. Felt it in my heart when they dipped back in the bag of salt. Then they flipped on the top deck, ripped a stasis, flipped it like a stacks table should be flipped. Came to my senses and I chilled for a bit. Don't know how you play the doo-doo that you do so well. Every spell, hell, makes me want to scoop, scoop, scoop. Scoop, day, oop, scoop, day,
Oh, this is that song?
you couldn't tell.
That.
Uh,
Word to your
that
mother.
that was, pretty cool song.
That's great, Sam.
Yeah, thanks. That was Shoop by Salt and Peppa, requested from our patron, Reply Hazy. Thanks, dude. Please don't make me rap. Please don't make me rap that much. I will do it, but please don't do it.
That was a lovely salty song.
Thanks. I recorded that last night.
Nice. The salty card of the week this week is Orb of Dreams.
Ooh, we Orbin, baby.
We Orbin in honor of some Edge of Eternities showing up,
Yeah,
which
we-
is orbs.set.
Yeah, literally the
Uh,
orb set. Instead of cool hats, everyone just says an orb.
Yeah.
Mm.
Orb of Dreams is 3 for an artifact. Permanents come into play tapped.
Mm.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Permanence, you said?
Permanents
Everything.
come into play tapped.
Your lands.
That's wild, dude.
Tony, what do you think about this card?
I think I don't like it. I've never seen it. I've never heard it. I think I'm glad that it's 3 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
it was 2 mana, I bet you I see it an awful lot fucking
Mm.
more. But like, I feel nobody likes these kinds of effects. Nobody's like, oh, this is great. I fucking love this shit. I don't like things that slow the game down.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, these fucking losers who love their stacks bullshit. But like, it's not as like it could be worse. I feel like somebody plays that and everybody's like, "Ugh, I'm annoyed," but like at the same time, you're like, it could be worse. And if the player who casts it, I feel like they could easily be like, it's not like static orb or something. Like there's
Yeah.
things they can easily reference that are much worse
Mhm.
to make the blow of it be less. But it's still fucking annoying. It's just again, it's a thing that slows the game down, doesn't speed it up. So I never like those kind of things. But it feels like it fits where I would expect it to fit as like an artifact doing this bullshit at 3.
Mm-hmm. Sam, how about you?
It's an interesting one. I've also never played against it, never even heard of it. But like the closest thing I can think of is Root Maze, which I did play in my old Marath stacks list, which makes land and creatures come into play tapped, but that's 1 green mana. I mean, having everything come into play tapped for everybody, it's like, it's frustrating because it slows the game down, but everyone's equally slowed.
Mhm.
I think it's only annoying if someone is somehow breaking parity on it.
Yeah, but that's what you're doing. You don't play this
ideally,
for fun.
yeah.
You're not just like, oh, I just want everyone to go a little slower and play this. You play it
Well-
like where you've got untappy bullshit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
intruder alarm or something, and you
Something
like
like
untap
that.
all
But
your
Intruder
shit.
Alarm
like-
untaps everybody's creatures. So
Yeah.
even that, like, it's kind of hard to break parity on. Hello. I think it's really funny that it makes your planeswalkers and enchantments come in tapped.
Yeah.
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 I think like that's the
And
thing
your
that,
battles.
Yeah, and your battles. Yeah. It's like that's the goofiest thing.
Yeah.
That it makes all these random things come into play tapped. But yeah, I don't know. It make me salty. I'm really struggling to figure out which deck it would go into because it's not even like the other orbs where you can, if it's tapped, it doesn't work anymore. You know, like Trinisphere, Winter Orb, all that kind of shit. So I'm curious when we get there. I'm curious which commanders are playing it. But how do you feel about this one, Mike?
I think a lot of what you guys said is pretty much it. Like it's very balanced in the fact that it's hitting everyone symmetrically. It does hit lands, which is annoying. It hits creatures, which are really the two that effect is mostly relevant for. Like lands, creatures, and artifacts, it's relevant to have come in tapped. Like you said, like enchantments, planeswalkers, kind of silly that those might come in tapped, but you're already hitting it with those 3 types mostly. I do think 3 mana isn't too much for something like this too.
Yeah.
Like it's enough that you might just throw this out in some decks. And like you said, Tony, it's not the most annoying because it doesn't really usually fully stop much. It just kind of slows things down a bit. There is one deck that it accelerates things in though, but we'll talk about that in a second. Where are your guesses on where you think this lands in the top 300 salty cards? Listeners at home, get your abacus ready. Lay out your summation on that. Get your
Yes.
counting beads
Nice.
into some piles, piles of beads, because I'm sure that's a
Get your
valid
counting
way of doing
Get
that.
your fucking counting beads
Yep.
out, everybody.
Yep.
I got a guess.
All right,
You have
Tony.
one, Tony?
I do.
All right, Tony, hit me with it first.
I'm gonna say 128.
128. And Sam?
214.
214. Sam takes it.
Yeah.
It is 208.
208. Wow.
But
pretty good.
Sam
pretty close.
is deducted 1 style point for not guessing a deck that might be able to take good advantage of your permanents entering the battlefield tapped.
Kona. Interesting.
And it costs 3 mana.
So you can play
so-
it and then
Turn 1, land
Yeah.
Dork. Turn 2, Orb. Turn 3, Kona.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, fucking idiot.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was mostly thinking like Arkelos,
Wait, you
which
can't
I know
turn
has
4, Kona.
yeah, because your land would come in tapped.
True. Okay.
Yeah,
good
it's,
point. Good
it's
point.
clunky. It's weird.
It's a little clunky. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I'm sure there's a way to do that though, that it's beneficial still.
What are like the top? Is Kona one of the
Kona
top?
is one
commanders?
of them. It's the 3rd highest. The
Okay.
other 2 are Hikori Dust Drinker and
Okay.
Zozu the Punisher, which are both just classically like fuck your day.
Yeah, like stacked balls.
All your stuff is stacked. And
Yeah.
like Hikori is lands don't untap during their controller's untap
Hmm.
steps. And so now, like normally the thing is like, okay, I'm untapping 1 land per turn and I'm hitting my land drop also. And now it's like you just get the 1 untap a turn.
Yeah.
You can't also try and
Mm.
build and not tap some lands. And then
Interesting.
Zozu obviously dealing damage to people as they play land, so you're just trying to slow things down. And then Magda, but that's actually kind of awkward in Magda because it doesn't tap them. They just come into play tapped. So I don't think you actually get the trigger on it. Arkelos Lagoon Mystic is another one
I
up
figured
there.
that one.
And then it's just like annoying stacks decks like Derevi or Slicer or
Yeah, Derevi would be good with
Urza
that.
decks that are like just trying to slow everyone else down because they're going to go fast anyway.
It's interesting that Kona's on there because so there is this like Kona's one of those weird decks where when you're looking at decks for it on like Moxfield or EDH Rec, there's a lot of CDH Kona decks. Like I think there's more casual versions, but there's a fair amount that kind of like poisons the well when you look at EDH Rec and you're like, fucking Mox Diamond, like who's putting this in their casual list? You see those like hints of like other CDH
People are
builds mixed in
pushing
here.
this.
Yeah.
I think it was Dylan from Play to Win had a Kona list that he was playing in CDH, and it's literally just like stacks the board out, cheat in massive fucking creatures. Like ideally, you're cheating in the Galta that when it comes into play, you put all the permanents from your hand into play, and then people just can't deal with like giant creatures. And it has some like Brostorm elements, like Sylvala Brostorm. So I think it's probably in that versus in like a more casual build. And that's probably why it's shown up in there.
Makes
But
sense. Yeah.
Interesting.
That wraps it up for the Salty Card of the Week. Thanks for playing.
Thanks, Mike. And thank you to our listeners at home for tuning in to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine. We're going to shout out our Salt Packet Plus tier members. And this week we have The Quiet One, Brimstone, Sire Speedy, Gilgamesh, Pez, Elgo Fogel, Doug's Dad, Bark Bark, Thoughtmas Prime, Captain Cross, Rothbox, D. Beeson, Clearbrook, Bobo Fett, Vok, and Swankub. Thank you all for being so lovely, so nice, so supportive.
Shukran.
If you want more Howling Salt Mine in your life, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Howling Salt Mine. We have our extra salts on there. We have our stray grains on there. We have a bunch of bonus content on there. We just recorded our 3-year anniversary HSM Listens to HSM, where we listen to our old episodes and provide commentary over it. It was very fun, very funny. We also have our awesome Discord community that you can
so
jump
funny.
in.
We're so
It's
funny.
so funny.
We're great. Like,
it's a very funny episode.
like I just listen to it. If I'm in a bad mood, I just listen to it, and I'm like, damn,
That's so
it's
funny.
actually
Like, those are
pretty
some
good.
funny guys.
This is
Yeah,
pretty
that's funny.
fucking
Those are
sick.
3 unfunny, funny guys.
So check that out if you want more of us in your life, or if you want to support the show, because that's really the best way to support us is through Patreon. Another way that you can support us is to give us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app of choice, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Interact with our shit. That also goes a long way to boost us in the algorithm. Follow us on social media. Instagram, we're using a lot more these days, so check us out there. We're doing like shorts and fun things like that. Clips from the show. I'm talking into the camera sometimes, so check all that shit out. What else? Oh, Dragon Shield sleeves. Did you know that you could buy custom Howling Salt Mine sleeves on dragonshield.com? You can get our logo sleeves, and you can also get the Zatalpa 1-800 Are You Flappin' sleeves on there. Direct, right on their website. I don't have to ship shit. I don't have to do anything. It's fucking amazing.
For $20.
Yeah, for $20. They're actually like really cheap. I think they're cheaper than what we were selling them for
There.
when we had the stock. So if you're international, they ship international as well. So super excited about that. Thanks as always to our buddies at Dragon Shield for sponsoring the show. And if you're buying any other stuff on there, or if you just want to slap the code in, save a little bit of money, all one word, all lowercase, stay salty. Use that code at checkout. You're going to get 5% off your purchase. Check out our other merchandise as well. We've got our shirts on Bonfire, and we have our playmats over on Jake Mats. Great stuff all around. Send us your salty stories. You know where to send it. Actually, maybe you don't. We've been getting questions about people are like, I don't know where to send it. Email. The
Those
email,
people aren't
the
listening to
website.
the end.
Literally.
And I
They
literally
are.
am like, you no longer get to.
Yeah, you don't deserve to have your story.
Yeah.
Like, do I DM it to you on Reddit? I'm like, no. That's where stories go to die.
Yeah.
it'll never make it out of the DMs. Last but not least, we got to shout out our buddy Devin Burnett for giving us our beautiful podcast art, immortalized in our lovely neon sign. If you're ever in Asheville, North Carolina, hit him up and get a tattoo because he's a really cool guy.
10,000 subscribers are buzz.
Indeed. Thanks again, everybody. And as always, stay salty. And don't forget to draw an additional card during your draw step.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
It was Paul.
Yeah!
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Keep it in, Dan. Keep it in. Keep it in.
No. Clean take. Oh, also 3, 2, 1. By the time I draw a second mountain to get on board, by the tram I drive a second mountain.
For the tram, I drive a second turn.
By the time I draw, that's enough.
It's all right, Honeybear. You'll get there.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if I should just move this one up a little bit. My head's been like kind of out of frame.
Maybe if you had less of such a big head. Got him.
No.
Fucking got him. Big head much? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Get him, Mikey. Tell him what's up.
Yeah, he does have a big head.
Stop. All right.
Did you even see them?
Oh my
maybe on
gosh.
that
You
camera.
definitely
wide
can.
angle, dude. In the wide angle.
Now wide angle shot, baby.
Oh God. Okay.
10. Okay, then. Chillin'.
Oh. This has to restart. Hold on.
Oh god.
That's never happened.
Mine.
Fuck.
Just play one of the other ones and then try.
Oh yeah. Will that do it?
It's the Gremlin
Gremlin boys in the mine.
Gremlins.
Nice.